We're sharing stories about identity theft, how you can protect yourself. This morning, we have information on the importance of filing police reports if you become a victim of identity theft, and also on how to repair your credit.
And joining us this morning is John Hendrick from the Coalition of Wisconsin Aging Groups. Thanks for joining us, John.
Glad to be here.
All right, so this is surprising, but I guess it shouldn't be. Most common form of identity theft for seniors by a family member.
Unfortunately, the people who have access to your personal information are not necessarily strangers. A lot of times it'll be a family member or anyone else that's in your house that has access to your mail or other financial information.
So we were talking in the commercial break beforehand about this idea that, you tell people don't click on the link from the stranger, don't give personal information to somebody who randomly calls you on the phone. How do you alert seniors to have the kind of conversation that you're talking about with a family member?
Well, it is different. You have to be very responsible with your financial information. You don't want to let your mail sit on the table. You don't want to leave it in your mailbox because someone might steal it. But if you leave it on your desk or on your table, someone that you know might be in the house and take advantage of that. Of course, most people's family members are honest, but on the other hand, the most common perpetrator of financial exploitation of the elderly is a family member.
Right, you've had a case that dealt with toll road identity theft. Can you explain that?
Yes, and again, that was someone that was known to the victim, but she was very surprised that she was getting past due notices from the Illinois toll road, and eventually she realized that someone had registered a car in her name. They had used her personal information, registered a car, and then they drove it freely through the Illinois toll roads, never paying the tolls. So it was a very strange situation where she was getting the bills, and there was supposedly a car that she owned that she knew nothing about.
We've got about a minute left. I wanted to talk about repairing your credit because it is a service that you offer. So this is obviously on the back end. What do you mean by that?
Once someone finds out, and sometimes it's a year later, that they're a victim of identity theft, one of the things that they have to do is fix their credit report. And there's a very good federal law that protects people that if you prove that you're a victim of identity theft, you would go ahead and go to the credit reporting agencies, all three major agencies, and you give them the police report and the proof that it's an identity theft item, and that will permanently block that information from being given out.
It's one of the things that you talked about in the tips. I had asked you to send over a few tips. Let's show those if we can about how you prevent becoming a victim. You talked about filing a report, also about going to annualcreditreport.com, right? Isn't that where you get the...
That's right. That's where you find out if you've been a victim of identity theft. There might be a credit card that you're not aware of, other loans, or even utility bills that have been put in your name. And annualcreditreport.com gives you a chance to check all three major credit reporting agencies and find those surprises.
And we can attest to it. It's easy to do.
Yeah, very easy.
It is. And you want to be sure that you go to the one that's called annualcreditreport.com.
Right.
Because unfortunately, for every website that helps you, there are some out there that are scams also.
All right. John Hendrick from the Coalition of Wisconsin Aging Groups, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Glad to do it.
Now, one of the best ways you can protect yourself, as you heard John mention, is shredding personal documents. This Saturday morning, you can come here to the station with up to 3 grocery bags full of old bills, Social Security statements, prescriptions, you name it. We'll shred it for free. Shred Fest runs from 8:30 until 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. And if you have any consumer problems that you need help solving, the Call for Action volunteers are going to be here later on this morning to help. From 11 to 1 every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you can reach them at 608-270-2833, or you can call for action anytime at our website, channel3000.com/call for action.